Campbell with Artober in Montgomery, and I'm here with Michelle Browder of More Than Tours and a whole lot more. Michelle, what else do you do around the city?
Well, we have a youth organization called I Am More Than, which is we try to teach young people using art, history, and conversation to change the narrative about how people view them, how they view themselves. And from there, we started a tour company called More Than Tours, and we specialize in civil rights tours of Montgomery, Selma, Tuskegee, and Birmingham. And let me see what else. So there's a lot that we do around these parts. We're now going back into creating art, public art. We just recently in July created the Black Lives Matter mural along with the Southern Property Law Center voting rights mural. So.
Okay, and you're an artist yourself, correct? You do these,
I am.
You do shoes as well as other. What else do you do art wise?
You name it, I do it.
Okay, tell me about the shoes more because I've been looking around your place.
Yeah, so the shoes, the whole concept came from the 60th anniversary of the Selma to Montgomery March, actually the 60th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott. We wanted to commemorate it in a special way, so we started creating shoes and got artists from all over the country to submit a pair in honor of, the protest.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the Fountain Mural. How did that come about?
Depression, just sitting and watching what was happening on the news and seeing that there was a national conversation, but Montgomery, Alabama was not a part of it. And so I just became very quiet, and a friend of mine called me. She said, normally, you're engaged in conversations like this, and I told her I was kind of, despondent because Montgomery wasn't responding. And she asked, what would you like to do? And I said, well, I would like to have Black Lives Matter around the fountain, painted around the fountain. And she says, let me make a few phone calls. And she did. And lo and behold, like literally less than a week later, we got the call from the mayor's office to go ahead and do it. And so I called my colleagues and we got together and I submitted a design and they read the vision and we went for it.
Why that location?
Because that's where enslaved African people were bought, sold, and traded, where they were dehumanized and sold into heinous conditions that actually built the city in the state of Montgomery, Alabama. So I thought that it was very important to show where if Black lives mattered in 1619, we mattered in 2020. So.
And you got to do that on Juneteenth, which I thought was extra cool.
Yeah.
Because we might have some viewers who don't know what Juneteenth is. Can you tell us about that?
Juneteenth is basically, 1863 Emancipation Proclamation that was issued with our Abraham Lincoln. But of course, because of harvest and because systemic racism and these just terrible, terrible slave masters did not want to release their enslaved, their property, their money, commodity, commerce, they held them extra. And so in Galveston, Texas, they created what is Juneteenth because it happened, unfortunately, 2 years later, where they released these people. So that's where the whole Juneteenth came from. When, enslaved people were set free, but yet they didn't find out for nearly 2 years later.
And you recently completed a mural at the SPLC Center. Is that right?
Southern Property Law Center. Yeah, it was great. It was a voting rights mural, and we just highlighted getting into good trouble. People throughout the country, throughout the world now are saying that, we need to start looking at racism and systemic biases, and even with voter suppression. And so even though we have the right to vote, we're still suppressed. And so this mural was designed to engage young people in a conversation and then hopefully provoke them to go and vote.
Okay. What's the favorite mural that you've done so far?
So far it would have to be the Black Lives Matter mural.
I love the colors on that one.
Yeah.
Why did you choose those colors?
Those are the Pan-African colors. But for the most part, we ran out of paint. So it was supposed to be red, black, and green, all solid colors. And so one of the other artists was like, Michelle, why don't we do this? And I was like, that sounds good. And then another artist, Milton, was like, we should do a little pattern and design. So I was like, that sounds good. So the it just worked,
It works very well, I think. So who was responsible for the design? Is that all you or?
It's my design, and yeah, but I love working with other or collaborating with other artists because when we ran out of paint, it's so funny. I think you were there. We were just standing there, and I was like, oh, let me think. And I said, I'm not buying no more paint because the paint was very expensive, and we didn't get any support in terms of financial support from the city. All of that was privately supported by my organization. And so, so again, it was two artists. It was Deborah Cedric said, why don't we just take little blotches, you know? And then the other artist, Milton, was like, well, we could do a little design. And it just all came together. But the original design, of course, is my design.
So you do have an arts organization that supports local artists. Can you tell me about that?
It's called 846 in Market, and we named it after the 8 minutes and 46 seconds of George Floyd. That's a long time. So we wanted to take a space where Black Lives Mattered and merge it with Black Lives Matter in 2020. And so 846 in Market is basically Market Street is where the mural is held, and then so from there I created T-shirts and sold them and raised enough money to where we could support Lynthia Edwards. We've given out grants already. We're getting ready to grant Milton Madison, you know, for giving him a grant for his new mural. So that's been a lifelong passion of mine, is to be able to help fellow artists like myself.
And do you have any murals coming up that you're comfortable talking with? Because I know sometimes you like the little shock value.
I do. Well, you know, I'm pregnant, so by the time this airs, you all will know why or how I was impregnated. But yeah, there's another mural that's going up right here at 39 Mildred to honor the women of modern gynecology. Yes, so we have James Marion Sims, the father, who's been on display for over 40 years now, but where are the mothers? So pretty soon you'll be able to see them right here at 39 Mildred.
I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Right, do you have any dream projects, if you could do anything to any piece of property in Montgomery art-wise? We're not saying we're going to do this.
I would love to have one of those spaces like they have in Louisiana where it's an indoor warehouse that's just full of art.
The B Studio? Kevin King mentioned that as well.
Did he really? See, that's the bomb.
It is.
So
really, if you can check out B Studio in New Orleans, it's pretty incredible. Like the scale of it alone.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and if it couldn't be the B Studios, it would be the old ABC store right up the street here. And
Okay.
because it's in the heart of the community, it's offset from where Rosa Parks would take that bus every day. So to turn an old ABC liquor store into a place where it's just open art, just take an abandoned building and create art in it.
I actually think it would be really cool to the old Greyhound on Southern to like turn those terminals into different galleries.
Oh!
Bus station, yeah. That'd be cool.
That would be really nice.
But you know, big dreams, no money.
Doesn't take a whole lot. Trust me.
More than I got.
Doesn't take a whole lot. So,
Okay, so are there any other projects that you are not involved in that you're looking forward to that you know about? Because you know more about the art scene than most.
no. We're just looking forward to getting a new art culture person at the city.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm just going to venture on to say, hopefully it's someone, a person of color. Can I say that?
You can say that.
I'm hoping that it's,
This is views of the person being interviewed and not necessarily the city.
yeah, no,
Disclaimer.
hopefully, I'm just going to put it out there that it could be a person of color because we've been overlooked for so long. And when you look at all of the public art pieces that are out there now, those were not typically done by people of color, but yet it's about the history. So I'm hoping that someone qualified, person of color, would get that position. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. We'll see what happens.
Let's see.